There's some factors that you're unconscious of. A lot of people are attracted to people based on the familiarity that they grew up with, and they encompass all the beliefs and the ideologies and the conditioning that they were raised in. This is what perpetuates the pattern of their attraction, and that usually aligns with the early experiences and their current preferences. If you were raised in an environment that was dysfunctional, that it was dramatic and it was unstable, you're most likely attracted to people that mirror that power play, and it's going to continue to reflect until you manage to go deeper into your true self. Your caregivers gave you the blueprint of what is considered normal and familiar to you. That's all you ever known. If your upbringing involved unhealthy dynamics, such as codependency, emotional volatility, or even neglect, you might be drawn to partners who exhibit similar qualities, and you might even find them normal and healthy, as you haven't seen anything else in your life, and you think that's all there is. It comes to the relationships, so it can make you see certain behaviors, so you can question. If you were young and your caretakers were not validating you as a person, or even giving you words of affirmation, that may have severely impacted your self-esteem, and you have formed negative beliefs about yourself. If they made you feel unlovable, most probably you internalized all of those beliefs, and in your partner, you might be seeking validation, or even without you knowing that you are actually recreating all of that dynamic and all of those things that you were used to doing in the past. So say you grew up in a house that there was constant conflict and emotional instability. In your current relationship, you may find yourself with a partner that might be constantly engaging you in arguments, debates. They might have unpredictable mood swings, and they're mirroring those dynamics that you went through during your upbringing. Say you were neglected by inconsistency from your parents or your caregivers. Unconsciously, you might be looking for a partner who's gonna, again, mirror that dynamic. So you might have a partner currently that is gonna be disregarding your emotional needs. They're not gonna give you support, and they're gonna reflect what the caregivers used to give to you. Say, for example, your parents had an enmeshment and dependent relationships where their boundaries were kind of blurry. You might find yourself being attracted to a person that has codependent tendencies, and your partner might be needing constant validation, and they're heavily relying on you. They might want your emotional support, and they can mirror back that codependent dynamic in which what your parents were doing and what you were seeing when you were growing up. If you grew up in a home where your parents had a tumultuous relationship and it was filled with power struggles, now in your adult relationships, you may find yourself attracted to a person that will be engaging in frequent control battles, and they might be seeking dominance in their relationships. And again, what does that show you? It reflects the familiar pattern and the comfort that you have felt during your upbringing. If your parents were emotionally unavailable and distant, as an adult now, you are with a partner who displays emotional unavailability. Your current partner might be struggling to express their emotions or to give emotional support to you and emotional intelligence, and they mirror that emotional distance that you experienced in your upbringing. If your childhood was marked by neglect and inconsistent caretaking, in your adult relationships, you're going to be drawn to partners that reflect that neglectful behavior. You might be with a partner that prioritizes their own needs, and they fail to provide consistent attention to you or even care. If you grew up in an environment where one was always talking about accomplishments and they were belittling accomplishments, you might be with a partner who is reinforcing their negative self-beliefs, and your partner might be criticizing your achievement, and they might be undermining self-confidence, and they mirror the demeaning treatment that you experienced in your upbringing. If there's a person who grew up with a lack of validation and there's been constant criticism from the parents, you might have a partner who is perpetuating those negative beliefs onto you. The partner may frequently invalidate things that you say, they can dismiss your opinions, and they are reflecting the lack of validation that they have experienced in their childhood. The upbringing has left you with a deep sense of unworthiness and the feelings of being unlovable. In your current relationship, you can attract a person who again is going to reflect that back to you. That partner is consistently going to be undermining your self-esteem. They might make you feel inadequate, and they're mirroring the low self-esteem that you might have been raised in the childhood. I gave you some examples, but it goes way deeper than that. But once you start understanding why with your partners there are certain dynamics, there is a reason why all of this are coming up. And there are ways to overcome these things, and I'm not going to get into it now. It's very important for you to seek psychological support to create a positive change into relationships and heal.